Gomez, the Dynamics GP Blogster here. Today I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Flic buttons, and I'm also going to talk about the Twilio connector for Power Automate. I'm going to show you how to set up a Twilio account, how to set up a Power Automate flow that actually leverages the Flic button. The Twilio connector will actually walk through some HTTPS connectors as well, and we're going to show you how to parse some JSON. And I'm going to put this in a fun demo that shows you how to leverage all these things to build an affirmation app. And that basically will allow you to, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling down a little bit, all you gotta do is press your Flic button and get a nice text message to lift up your spirit for the day. And I know a lot of us go through quite a bit of stress, and sometimes we might feel a little depressed. So let's just get to it and see how it's done. The first thing we'll do here is to set up a Twilio account. So as you can see, I've actually gone to twilio.com, and all you really gotta do is sign up and start building. This will walk you through the sign up process, and you basically get like a trial account for about a month, where you can work out what you want to do while you practice and try out the Twilio account. So I already went through that process, so I'm going to do is log in here. And once I am here, I can then just auto fill in my password and log in. So a couple seconds, you should be in. The first thing is, for most of you, the most important thing will be to create a phone number. So if you click here on phone numbers, you can actually click the plus sign here. That will walk you through the process of creating a phone number. There's a whole bunch of countries available where you can actually allocate a phone number from for your Twilio account. The prefix of the number that you want. So if I wanted, say for example, a Miami number, I could actually search for this and then decide if I wanted to set up a number that starts with 305. But anyways, the bottom line is you can buy a number that is available in a particular area code. Since 305 is probably one of the oldest ones, you probably will end up in some cases with no matches or numbers available for that particular area. But if I just do a wide search here, I can then go ahead and see the result set and choose any specific number that I want within the particular location that I'm interested in. All right, I already went through that process, so I'm not gonna go do this again. But the thing here is I already have a number that I allocated, and that particular number already has the following capabilities. It has voice capable, it's actually fax capable, SMS capable, and MMS capable. Okay, so this is all you need really to get started with your Twilio account. Now there are some important things here that are gonna be key for you to keep track of. The one thing will be your account SID and your authentication token. Those are gonna be needed for Power Automate when you're setting up your flows. So let's see how that is done. In my previous video, I showed you how to work with the Flic button. And in essence, I'm gonna put a link to that, but here's my Flic button. And that Flic button basically has been set up and programmed with the Flic application, and it's already tied up to my Flic account, etc. So just look for a little banner that's gonna appear up on the top of the screen, and I'm gonna also set a link down here for that video as well, so you can go back and always revisit it and see how you set up a Flic account and set up the hubs and what's not. Anyways, going back here, I'm gonna go to Power Automate, and I'm just gonna make sure that we set up a new flow, and I'm gonna create a new one here. Okay, and that's gonna be an instant flow. That's what I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna skip this protocol here for you. But the first thing I want to do is I want to search for Flic. So we're going to set up a Flic trigger when a Flic is pressed. Now I already have my Flic account set up, so I'm immediately presented with what button I want to use. So in particular, I want to actually use this Flic X button, which is the one that is programmer assigned to the one that I just showed you this now. And I can say in any event, I want to, trigger something that make something happen with whatever click the end user presses. So my new step here is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and retrieve the HTTPS, affirmation that I'm looking for. So I found this nice website called Affirmation.dev. So if you go there, that website basically returns affirmation statement that is actually a JSON payload. And if I refresh here, I should get different affirmations messages as I go through the process of refreshing this website, which is pretty cool because that's exactly what we need. We want different affirmation messages as we go along. So let's see how we incorporate that into our Power Automate flow. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to an HTTP request. And please remember that the HTTP connector is a premium connector. So there is some charges associated to that. But the method that we want here is the get method. Okay, and then the URI is simply address of the website that I just visited. So that's it. That's all we need. The next thing that we're gonna probably do is test this out. So I'm just gonna save this and call this get my affirmation. So that's gonna be the name of our Power Automate flow. And I'm gonna hit save here. Awesome. So the next thing we're gonna do then is we're gonna test this out. So I'm just gonna go here, hit OK, and I'm gonna click this particular Flic button that I have. So I'm just gonna switch over here so you can see. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this, and boom. When I go back over here, I should be able to see this run happening, which as you can see succeeded here. And the reason why we need this is because we need to be able to obtain the actual payload. So as you can see here, the Flic was pressed. Okay, so that's my input. I also have the HTTP request here, and as you can see, there is an affirmation message that came back. That's the package that we need. That's what we need. So I'm just gonna copy this out, and then I'm gonna edit this flow again, and I'm gonna add a new step. My new step will be now to parse that payload with this parse JSON data operation. And the content that's going to come from it is the body of the HTTP request. That's where we found it, if you remember where we got the data from. And then I'm going to generate the sample using a copy of that payload. So now if I click done, I can see my schema, my JSON schema that corresponds to that affirmation. That's awesome, because then the next new step that we're going to create is going to be Twilio connector to send a text message. To authenticate this connector, you need a set of data. So I'm going to add a new connection so you can see where that comes from. And I'm going to call this my Twilio account. Okay, so the account ID basically comes from this SID right here. And I can copy that out and paste it in here. Okay, and the access token comes from this particular option here. So here's my access token, and I'm gonna actually paste that back over here in my Power Automate flow. So I can hit create here, and that's basically gonna hook me up to Twilio. Okay, so let's just hit create here again. Test connection failed. So something we didn't do right, so we just gotta go back and figure what that out. As you can see, I probably forgot to include the 9, so I'm just gonna highlight everything again, hit Control C, go back over here and paste that out again. Okay, so let's hit create now. Good, so now we have our Twilio account set up. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose the phone number. That's the one that I set up, Mariano Gomez. So if I go back over here and see the phone numbers, that's the name of the phone number that I actually set up over here. The friendly name is Mariano Gomez. That's what's going to be displayed in Power Automate. So to phone number. So if I am just wanting to send affirmations to myself, I can actually do this to my direct number. But you can think of if you have a set of numbers that you want to distribute this to, then you can basically add those list of numbers in the phone number field. So the one thing here is I can take the text that I want to send. That's going to come from the affirmation, parse from that JSON payload that we just parsed out, which is going to return the affirmation field. So here it is. And then finally, what I can do is I can show you how this works. So I'm just going to save this and test it out. So once it's saved, we're going to go back here and I will show you now how this works. Okay, so now we're going to test the actual affirmation message by using our Flic button. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this. And now if everything works great, then I should be getting a Twilio message with the affirmation that I'm expecting. Great, now we can see that I got a message sent from Twilio. I can actually double click here and I can see that this message then says you're an inspiration, sent from your Twilio trial account, and this is actually the phone number I had provisioned with Twilio. This is a great way to work through some personal difficulties if you are having those. None of us are exempt of it, but it's also a way to demonstrate some practical uses of your Twilio connector, your Flic button. And this can be actually extended to the enterprise by creating and setting up, say, for example, an alert management system for all employees in the organization. Think of those things that you have always tried to set up, bring those over to the enterprise and work through with your teams to figure out how you can leverage some of these technologies. Thank you for watching. See you soon.